I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, also known as the Print Whisperer. Today we have a special guest. All my guests are special, but this one's super special because he's super young. We got Andrew Parker of BR Printers. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Warren. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So before we get into anything, I was thinking, tell us a little bit about BR Printers.
Certainly. BR is celebrating its 31st anniversary this year. BR has evolved from a small digital printer serving the tech industry in Silicon Valley to a multifaceted provider of print and marketing services nationwide. Our growth and ever-evolving solution set is driven by our desire to help our customers succeed in the constantly changing landscape beyond print. BR continues to make investments and acquire capabilities and people that solve our clients' challenges to allow them to communicate more effectively with their target audiences.
Cool. And you've got, I think, 10 operations in 5 states?
Yep, correct. So 10 separate business units operating out of 5 different states, California, Colorado, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Kentucky.
Okay, cool. And you're producing everything.
We like to say that we can serve pretty much every entity under the sun with some of our solution set. We have it from books to commercial print, direct mail, large format, promotional products, fulfillment at 3PL, technology solutions, labels, and packaging. So we like to spread the love into multiple different markets and look to capitalize on where we can.
Hey, and it's a great way to keep a customer when you can manage their brand across all different types of platform substrates, etc. So that's
Certainly.
cool. So the part that I really was excited about today was having you on was you are 26 years old. We chatted last week. I thought you were pretty cool, youngin, lots of energy, and you seem pretty up on the industry. So my first question to you is, or statement, and then you can reply, is just what is it that you love about the industry that excites you?
Certainly, and I would say, yeah, kind of referring back to our other conversation, certainly a loaded topic. There's a lot of different opportunities, but it really is that kind of value add opportunity, bringing something kind of back to life, or something to where it's more so the contrary. There's a lot of talk out there of mantra that print is dead. I firmly believe that it's quite the contrary. I'd love to be able to tune into what you have going on, Warren, and be able to see it's a part of our everyday life. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., every corner that you turn, there's something that print is popping out right in your face. It is kind of that subliminal messaging at times. But when I think of it from a business aspect, it's something that you want to be a part of. I don't see it going away anytime soon. And even more so, I think people are going to be able to hold on to it and appreciate that true tangible aspect behind it.
Cool. So quick question. I hear people talk, people like print, people don't like print. Does your group of peers like print, don't like print? Do you read? Do you not read? Is everything the screen? Like, what do you see? What do you know? Because I won't put me in that category, but the elders of the industry, they think they know it all. What's the perspective coming from your end?
Certainly. And yeah, obviously it just comes from kind of the personal perspective, or I would say my generational perspective. I think it's the mix that's in between. You want to have it to where it's the capitalizing on the opportunities of being able to use something in a digital format, but then also having that appreciation and respect of having something tangible in your hands. I think it's just something to where when messaging comes across in a print format, it just resonates a little bit more. And having it to where it truly does sink in, rather than just being inundated constantly by a screen, whether that's the phone, whether that's the Apple Watch, whether that's the laptop. It's a consistent item that pops up in our everyday.
Do you actually hear people saying print is dead, or is it just something that we read about that people have said? Because I personally don't really hear. I hear some people, and then I beat them up, and they never say it again.
Absolutely. I would say it's kind of a narrative. I guess when I started with the industry about a year and 6 months ago, coming back from COVID, that was a little bit of what I was seeing out there. Just having it to where it was the bit of a lull. People were skeptical. I wouldn't necessarily say that they would come out and specifically say that print was dead, but they see something trending down, and they start getting a little bit scared, start getting a little bit weary about what's out there. But I would say, yeah, within the last, or at least the first half of this year, it's a little bit of a flipping of the script. People are starting to get a little bit more reinvigorated. They see the opportunity that's there, and they're starting to get that fire back in their belly.
Cool. When you told your friends you took a job as a marketing guy at a printing company, what did they say?
They had no idea what I was getting into. Just seemed like it was a, yeah, leaving an agency mindset, to be able to go to a print world, just didn't resonate with them. It's not something that I guess a lot of people in kind of my realm necessarily think about when it comes to manufacturing. But yeah, I mean, now they see where we stand, and being able to bring them up to speed about kind of day to day of what I do. It's something that few of them are a bit jealous of, getting my hands dirty in multiple different avenues of life.
Cool. Are you ever with the group and you just somewhere and you pull something out that's on a table, or you see something and you're looking at it and then they're like, what are you doing? Or do you ever want to tell them how something's made?
Absolutely. Oh, it just comes out. It's almost something to where they just have to bear with me to be able to get through the spiel or kind of geek out moment. But yeah, even comes into more prevalent than ever. Go out to a restaurant, you're scanning the QR code, and all of us are looking around, shaking our heads, just saying, "I just want that tangible menu."
Well, you know what? You say that. So I was just at a great breakfast place that I go to sometimes. And when I sat down, I said, where's the menu? And the guy said QR code. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know how much longer I could eat here. Right. I said, not for any other reason than I don't like QR codes for picking what I'm going to eat.
Hmm.
I have a pretty big phone. It's a Samsung Ultra 23 plug because I don't like Apple, but pretty big screen. People laugh at me, but even the menu I can't see. I said to the guy in the restaurant, I'm going to order what I always order, but I'm not ordering anything else. You're going to lose money now, as far as I'm concerned, with the QR code.
Certainly.
Because you lose that instantaneous. I'm going to have that, and I'll have the fries or I'll have the margarita. Now I'm so frustrated by the time I pick my main course, I can't even think about anything extra.
I get it. Yeah, it's the stressful pick or the flustered pick. It
You
just kind of
know,
comes
and
out.
and I used to be okay with the tablets until you drop one in a toilet. It's not the same. I never dropped the magazine in a toilet before,
That's
right?
that's a good one.
So it just makes it easier to go. As a young guy in the industry with a lot of energy and seeing things, you deal with a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time. I'll call them the elders. What's your take on the elders in terms of appreciating the younger people in the business, or acknowledging them, or training or teaching, or just what's the feeling that you get overall?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could start
And
off with
by the way,
your
sorry, we don't want to use any names
no,
because we don't want
yeah,
to offend or disrespect anyone who's listening, because it's not meant for that type of commentary, right? It's just so that we know and learn.
certainly no, and I would say more prevalent than ever within the print industry. It's being able to kind of pick those, as you put it, elders' brains. They've lived through it. They understand the ebbs and flows of what the print industry has seen, and trying to capitalize on that. It almost seems like, kind of reflecting back on the first half of this year, there's kind of new trade winds out there. How do we adapt and overcome those? And it's the kind of mixture in between. It's having it's where we can sit down and understand what may have happened 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, and then flipping the script. How do we now approach that market to be able to capitalize on it, if we didn't do it to a full extent last time, or say there was a flub in whatever perspective and approach that we had previously. Now it's time to be able to kind of reinvent the wheel, and start with something new. I would say realistically within this industry, overall, not only just in my company, but with the people that I've been able to interact with, it's a lot of kind of taking people under your wing, or taking me under their wing. And I absolutely love that perspective. People want to be able to share that knowledge, and I'm very truly grateful for those people that have been able to do so.
Cool. That's really nice to hear, because I hear a lot of others where the young people are talking and don't always feel like the old people are listening, or the elders are listening. Right? Do you
And
find
yeah,
that at all?
I mean, I get that. I think about it in the sense of, I feel like no matter what market you're to be a part of, that's always is. People are always scared of the changing of the guards at times. And it's more so, yeah, it's that kind of personal reflection. Maybe somebody else has more energy or more knowledge. I have it to where I try and bring the energy because I don't have the 30 years of experience or knowledge to be able to bring something else. But the guy that's sitting across the table from me, if I can rely on him to be able to bring that expertise and we can tag team it together, then by all means, I think that's kind of the end all be all of positive capitalizing on an opportunity.
Cool. So you just said sitting, talking about what was 10, 20, 30 years ago. I also think soon there'll be no room for those conversations because as the industry's changing, the technology and the equipment's
Absolutely.
changing and the way in which we do things, I'm always not so interested in a history course,
Yeah, I get that. And
right?
I would say it's yeah, it's more prevalent than ever. I know you're obviously on top of it. I like to keep myself informed as much as I can with the latest evolutions within, yeah, technological advancement. I mean, there's things that are coming out now. You even think about it from, say, like a labor standpoint. We're having it to where it's a reduction across the board. You have it to where these specialists that certainly had to be a part of your program or industry for 10, 20, 30 years to be able to have that expertise. Now you can bring somebody on board and essentially bring them up to speed probably within a month to be able to be running one of these presses. So it's the yeah, I think it's phenomenal what we're seeing, and I love being a part of this collective while we're seeing this surge from all different types of vendors that we currently use. It's amazing what they're bringing to the table.
Oh, I'm when I think back to like, way back when I don't even know how far back that is, can't remember that far back. But today the presses have monitors on on the press tables at the press. The folders have 200 preset buttons for the fold. Girls aren't coming home with their fingers caked in with ink. Um, their clothes isn't as dirty, probably not ripping as much as they used to because it's a different way of doing work, but it's
Hmm.
totally cool. But I watch even even though the machines and the technology and they set up color and they do more and more for you, you still have to have that eye and that
Oh,
feel,
absolutely. I
right?
would say it's yeah, having it to where we rely on them more now than ever. Because yeah, you can try and rely on the technology as much as you possibly can, but to have it to where you have the expertise to be able to truly pinpoint what might be that missing link, yeah, we need it more than ever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, the craft is there, right? It's like anything, it's like the old watchmaker today. They make a lot of cheap
Mhm.
watches, but the good handmade watches that are precise are still, made by hand. In terms of people your age, are you part of any groups? Are you part of any associations?
Yeah, locally and nationally, they aren't specific to print alone, but having it to where it is more so the collective. Yeah, there's kind of one peer group that I'm a part of. You have people that are fintech specialists, people that are in cybersecurity of healthcare, and then you have myself. It's nice to be able to get alternate perspectives upon kind of bridging the gap in between multiple different industries. One thing that I like to then promote in afterwards is what can we do to be able to serve them with one of our products or solution sets.
I was waiting to say that, like, you join all those groups. If you're the only guy in the print communication world, they all become potential customers. And if you're hanging out
Precisely.
there, there's no reason they shouldn't give you a chance,
Exactly.
right?
And
Have you?
yeah.
No,
Oh,
I was going
sorry.
to
Go
say.
ahead.
Okay, I was going to say in the industry, have you found any groups for under 40? I don't know what they are, just to hang out, or if there are those groups, like there's Printing United coming up. Do you know of
Mhm.
anything going on at Printing United for young people gathering?
That's actually a very good observation. I don't know anything off the top of my head that is targeted towards kind of the young crowd. That being said, I've attended few different conferences, PubWest specifically, to where it seemed a little bit of an anomaly for me to be there in the room. And I felt very fortunate to be able to address everybody that was there. But yeah, it was kind of a big point out saying that bringing in younger people is going to be a big thing if we want to keep this industry thriving. It's certainly something that needs to be top of mind in the sense of recruiting.
Are you going to Printing United?
Don't have solidified at this moment, but am hoping to be able to pull it off this year.
Who's your CEO?
Adam Demastri, President and CEO of VR Printers.
Sorry, Adam DeBasery?
Demastri,
DeMaestri, sorry.
correct.
So, Adam, you're going to watch the video. Send him to Printing United. He's a young guy. We need him there. If you don't send him there, bad move. Anyways, he'll do whatever he thinks is right. I was trying to give a little encouragement. Actually, to anybody listening, if you are going and you do have some younger folks in your company, why don't you bring them? Why don't you let them loose? It's not cheap, you're right, because that's the first thing you're going to say, but it's cheaper than any mistake you're going to make in your place. And if you spend the money and bring them and invest in them, not only will you energize them, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but you'll energize them, you'll make them feel wanted, part of the team, part of the family, and they will go back and tell everyone everything that they saw, unlike us elders who go back and really probably don't tell everyone much. Would that be like a pretty good go at that?
I would say that, yeah, that was a good plug for it. Yeah, I was able to attend last year's, and that was kind of my inaugural step into it. Yeah, I got to say it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll even if you end up going, let me know.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you want, let's promote a little gathering or a little drink fest after at the end of the day of one of the show. One at the end of the show, one of the days, and just try to get some little connections and so I'll say business card exchange as opposed to a QR code scan, but party. But let's love the idea of young people in it because it is a great industry and it is fun. Um,
Certainly.
Anything else on your mind about print that you'd like to speak now that you have an open forum?
Oh, put me on the spot, Warren. Um,
That's what I'm good
I
at.
guess, yeah, no, I guess one thing
But no,
that
no pressure, by the way.
Yeah, no, one thing that I guess has been kind of prevalent in discussions that I've had recently, and actually sat in, it was kind of a seminar that was put on by Ashley Gordon with HP. She was discussing about certain publishers, publishing entities that are now exploring going back overseas, specifically China, and having it to where how, as a domestic provider within the United States, how do we put our foot forward to be able to continue to capitalize on the market that we have and not lose that market share? And it's certainly loaded. I have my perspectives of where it comes into the partnerships and SLAs and KPIs of what we've been able to deliver to our partners is certainly where it is. And I know kind of, I guess, grouping it into discussions of what you had, it goes back into pricing. How do we compete with those overseas pricing? And it's not specifically to BR, but more so having it to where it is the general industry, kind of the presentation. Would love just to be able to kind of hear your perspective on it.
Oh, I'm it's a little crazy. I mean, overseas is overseas for a lot of stuff. If you know, this it comes back to this. To me, Sam Walton helped create China. He went over there. I think at one point Walmart might have been their seventh largest trading partner, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants price, but everyone complains about China. Well, people can't blow and suck at the same time. So if you're going to take a stand and don't buy stuff like that. I don't think maybe a couple times I bought a prescription or a drug from the pharmacy running next door to Walmart. But as a rule, I don't go into Walmart. I've got nothing bad against Walmart. It's just not my go-to place. Maybe because I've seen so many videos on TikTok of the people that are in there and the funny stuff. But no, all kidding aside, um, if you're going to buy from China, then you can't talk about it, right? If you belong
Yep.
to a union and it's made in America, then you should make sure everything you buy is made in America. You're not allowed to buy in China and then complain about your job or losing it. Because if you're part of the union and you're buying in China, you're help facilitating the loss of your job. So there's a whole thing like that, right?
Certainly.
Um, I think we have to do what we can to keep it here.
Hmm.
But I get it. I'm a consumer too. Can't always buy. I got to look at what I earn and whatever. But we got to find the balance,
Yeah.
right? We got to find the balance. But we could look to some of the major retailers who do all their buy over there and see what we could do to them. But they're going to say, hey, you guys want the pricing. So it's what came first, the chicken or the egg. but everyone together has to take a stand. But if you're buying overseas, you have to be prepared. First of all, if you're going to buy overseas and you have to pay up front, why don't you pay your printer up front here when you do it? That's a question for people, right? You're going to pay those people up front, hold your money, and me, you're going to make me wait 120 days to get paid. So there's a whole lot of conversation that could be had about the way business is done. What is it? I like to keep what we can here.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 and 6 months to wait for something, great. If you are going to buy anything overseas, then you don't have the right to comment about what they do. That's the way I see it.
No, it's a great perspective. No, I appreciate you sharing that.
But but I think we all just got to listen. I think everyone's got to hold their head up, market themselves properly. You're in marketing, put yourselves out there, put out the right message. And then not only putting out the right message, I think everyone on your team has to be speaking the same message. If everyone speaks the same message, everything is habit forming.
Mm-hmm.
So find the good habits, put out the good message, keep up the good habit of putting out the good messaging, provide good service, provide, good product, and we got it made.
Certainly. And yeah, that's something like we at VR like to hold ourselves accountable over, and continue to be able to promote exactly that. I mean, we're here to be an extension of our clients' brands. And if we can successfully do that, positively do that with some energy, then by all means, it's the right approach to be able to do so.
And if everything was as easy as I said it was, oh my God, how good would everybody be doing?
Oh, exactly.
Right? And if it was like that, then I wouldn't have anything to say to anybody. So exactly. It keeps it going. But no, it's a good perspective. It's a good, people have to talk more about it. People don't realize what everybody, me included, what we say sometimes, what we do, what the message we're giving off. Right. And then the world is in such a rush and everyone's moving so fast. And I think we all just need to count to 10 and slow down and take 2 steps back. Right. I really liked, people are going to be mad. I really like COVID. I like COVID because it was just, there was a bit of stress, but it was almost stress free in the beginning. It was almost a relief not to go to work. Right. It wasn't a relief not to have work. It was just a relief not to go. Now I see exactly what's happening. Corporations are pulling back where firms said, we'll always do remote. Now they don't want to do remote. I think Fridays is still good because they don't have to travel, waste your weekend. But now why are all the companies changing to bring everyone back? Primary reason I think is because you work better when you do see the people and you are a team. But I like the idea of maybe breaking it up a little, to give people a little more freedom. But you give them a little freedom, they want more freedom. Humans, we're never happy. What are we going to do? And then you throw us in the printing industry. Oh,
that's a cherry on top.
Right?
Yeah,
and then that's cycle. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, I'm about to cut you off in a second. If there's anything else you'd like to put out there, I'll give you another moment.
No, by all means. No, I really appreciate you taking the time to be able to connect, Warren. This has been fantastic. And yeah, just look forward to continuing to push the narrative of what you're putting out there. I love the observation of what you made and the question regarding a kind of a youth alliance within the print industry. And yeah, I want to continue to build that. I've got some young people around my age on my team as well and within the spectrum of VR. So yeah, we want to continue to be able to build that out and capitalize on those connections across.
I'm just looking for one name right now. Sorry. Do you know Jake Hoffman?
I do not.
I'm going to make the introduction, and he's at Arundel Printing or Arundel Press. Correct me if it's wrong. Under 40 has a podcast, Under 40, and doing some good stuff. So I'm going to send an email after to both of you and make that connection and then see what you could do. If you could think of anybody else, any other reason you want to come back, you want to have a chat, you think there's things people need to hear, just reach out to me. We'll get you on.
Fantastic.
If you got any events happening, let me know. Maybe I could show up. That'd be cool. To everybody else, as always, I am so grateful that you've made it this far, if you made it this far, and that you listen. If you've got anything you want to say, anything you want to add, just reach out to me. If you want to be on this podcast with me, reach out. Love to have you. Otherwise, Warren Werbitt, what they think. I love print. And Andrew, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Warren. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.